Alright guys, so we've got a split topic today, but the end outcome, the end of all this is just having a database resource of elevator speeches, so things that you can say in 15 to 30 to 60 seconds that can absolutely motivate the crap out of someone, and especially in our industry it's highly relevant. It's relevant for current clients, it's 100% relevant for trying to recruit new clients, especially some of the things like overcoming obstacles or objections from people. So if you've got kind of a database of these that you're used to saying and that feels so natural to say, and it really has context where you can use them, it'll be much more beneficial to your long-term success, especially if you have any ambition to be a higher level coach. These are the things that, and certainly Annie, you'll be aware of this, sometimes before a lift or before a performance, you have to be in your client's ear, and what you say in that 15 seconds can be the difference between them performing 110% or them putting in half an effort. And we already in part do that, but if you can do it in a really easy, methodical way, it makes it a lot easier to apply it to a lot of context. In saying that, the only way this works is you kind of got to know at least a fraction about the person that you're going to give an elevator speech to. If you just sat out there, and let's say we got Tim and we put him on a box and he just stands up into the entire gym and goes, "All right everyone, you have turned up to the gym this morning and you are here for a purpose, and this purpose is for an absolute outcome. You're going to put in it, it's going to be totally out of place and it's going to hit someone, it's not going to get out. Like, it's got to be appropriate to the audience." And now when we're in an individual context, that audience is, they're going to react in different ways. So if you can kind of know, and this is going to be more relevant to our clients, but certainly in terms of people that we haven't met yet and we'll be dealing with, if you can know at least a little bit about them, who they are as people, you can actually hone this to that person and it makes it hit 10 times better. Have any of you guys ever had a client where they're kind of the really malaise, unmotivated person? They're turning up and they're doing stuff, but they just don't put in 100%. And you actually try and elevate it, like you actually try and get them motivated and you give them an inspirational speech and you're like, I have full faith that you've got this. I believe that you can achieve this goal and you're already putting in place 90% of everything that you need to do. I just need to see that 10% more. You are 9/10 the way there, and if you just put in that one little bit more, the difference will be so dramatic that you will never, ever, ever regret it. And they do less. Like, they're actually just that kind of person that don't respond to it. This is where this is really critical, because you need to understand who they are, and that's why it doesn't work for them. So you guys all have a handout. It's really, really basic. Lab profiling, it's very, very simple. Everyone has, and it just stands for language and behaviour profiling. Everyone has their own language. Everyone has their own kind of behaviour. It's that simple enough. So they've got their own language, their own personality. This is just bracketed, types of people. And we're going to come across these kinds of people in everyday life. Proactive. We all know what a proactive person is, right? They're the go-getters, they're the enthusiastic ones. These are our ideal clients. They want to be here, they want to perform, and we give them 15 seconds of this, and they just shine. Like I had some guys hitting PVs all this week, and apart from loading weights, all I'm doing is giving elevator speeches because that's what's going to drive them on. But they're proactive people. Reactive people are the ones that I'm talking about before. Or, you probably had someone where you might have, say, done their measurements and they're doing quite well, like in context to all your other experience of what people should be getting, in terms of results to the time invested and the effort, they're doing quite well. And you do their measurements and you get excited about it and you start selling back the effectiveness of your services, and they're actually disappointed because in their head they thought it was going to be different or it's not enough, and they're reactive. So they're just not someone, or you might get the same person, they come in and you've got to drag them kicking and screaming to every exercise, and they want to procrastinate and they want to chat their way out of doing effort. Like they're just reactive people, they're not naturally go-getters. They're also good clients because they are screwed without us. They won't even turn up and do a modicum of effort without us. So they're also good. They're just psychologically painful, and these guys are amazing, and that's a mixture of both. If we're in context, it's really simple, and this handout's great. It breaks it down as these are the kinds of people that start actions, and these are the kind of people that wait for others to start actions. That doesn't mean though, if someone starts putting in effort, an elevator speech is actually just going to exacerbate that. It's going to push them forward. These are the people that they need, little bits. If you did one big inspirational speech, they won't react to it. Like, they won't actually respond. You have to get them going a little bit and let that momentum carry through, and get them going a little bit more and get the momentum carry through, and it's like a mollycoddling process. And it's painful, but it's really effective. How to reach both. So, if we're looking at the way in which we want to make sure that, I guess, we're targeting our services, if you are going to approach someone and you're thinking about, is this person proactive versus reactive, and let's say you've done a Kickstarter, you've done a comp session, and you've learned a little bit about this person, the best way to target both is you need to think about how on earth you're going to make sure that your message actually caters to both. Because you may get it wrong, right? So, this is the kind of the inspirational all-up speech. And this is the, I need a little bit, and then a little bit, and a little bit, I need some coaxing. A very, very simple solution that is, if you don't know, start with a little bit. And you can look for their behaviour. How's their body language responding? What's their engagement? And you can go a little bit more, and you can test their engagement. If they're getting into it, if they're buying into it, then you can go the whole hog. Does that make sense? So my process would be, if I'm in the first session with someone, I don't know what kind of person they are, whether they're really a go-getter or they're not, I'll start having the discussion about how they, what are their goals, what are they working towards, how ambitious are they, what kind of timeline. If they're really malaise, it pretty much shows you to that person straight away. Easy enough. If they're a little bit engaged, doesn't necessarily guarantee you that. Okay, cool. If you could achieve anything in the next 4 weeks, I'll now give a time frame and I'll shorten it and I'll say, okay, let's go fishing here. If you could achieve absolutely anything in the next 4 weeks, I mean, there's no restrictions, absolutely no restrictions. You can achieve absolutely anything. What would you want to do? What would be a big win for you? If they're someone that you can see the energy drives up and they start getting excited about it, they're that kind of person. Like, you can see it. But if they're like, oh, I don't know, blah, 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 then you've got an answer. So that defining moment, because you've tried to elevate some mood and all these things, changes that, and we'll go through that a little bit later on. But you really need to identify that, because that then is going to change your tact, right? You're either going to go all in, or you're going to go a little bit at a time. Simple enough. Toward or away from. So, this is a little bit more complicated. And this is a little bit like what we talked about last week as well. All it says is, the way people motivate themselves falls into two categories. So we're assuming we've got someone who's a little bit self-motivated here. The way people motivate themselves falls into two categories. They either feel they're moving towards a goal or away from a problem. So it's the happiness versus fear kind of thing. But it's not always as simple as that, because some people it's dyadic. They might be trying to move away from weight, but they're trying to move towards strength goals. They're excited about one, scared of the other. So it's not as simple as one or the other, but we have to look in context of, if you could achieve anything in the next 4 weeks, what would that be? It's probably going to give us an idea of what the bigger motivator is, right? And that will clearly identify what's toward or away from. Are we simple enough on process there? So we go fishing a little bit, we see, are they responding to just a little bit of elevation, a little bit of fishing, identifying who they are, and then if we get some catch on, would you be able to achieve anything in 4 weeks? They're moving towards something. Or, I've got a fear, I really, really don't want to ever end up in a space, all right, they're moving away from. It's clear. If they don't give you that, it's going to take time and eventually you will. But to make it harder, toward people are focused on a prize, they think in terms of milestones and aims to be achieved. That's awesome for us, because that's our programming methodology, right? Like, we're setting a 4-week or a 6-week ambitious target to, whether it's a change in weight, change in body composition, a change in performance that they can measure and be excited about their progress. That's towards something. But how do you measure away from something? That's really difficult. So away people are energized by threats. It's the fear of being fat, or the fear of being weak, or the fear of non-confidence in the gym. It's really hard to measure that, because even if they're losing weight, it's not necessarily in proximity away from that. If someone had an unreasonable fear of clowns, some people do, if someone had an unreasonable fear of clowns, right? If the clown's there, or they're that far away, they're still scared shitless of the clown. The clown's still in proximity. So it's not as simple as saying that they're moving further away from, because these kinds of people, it's still always in their forethought. Until they're like that far away that it's not even a concept anymore, it's really difficult. And we come across these people all the time, because that's the reason they turn up to the gym They are motivated to move away from a fear, but we can't sell them on that, especially if they're this kind of person doing that. They're not ambitious toward a goal, and they're hard to tell to move away from that. Has anyone ever done a consult or something like that? I've done at least 5 in the last year. And they're very, very difficult because they're not motivated, they're not ambitious, and they are doing stuff because they feel they need to, but they're also not the people who turn up to achieve or to perform, and it's really, really hard for us to do anything. And so if we do an elevator speech, how do you get someone really excited about not being fat anymore when they still feel fat? You can't do it. It doesn't work. So an elevator speech will never work on that person in the usual context, but I'll show you a way to achieve it today. Alright, moving on. How to reach both. I don't 100% agree with this, but it is valid. It says, in training you might decide to focus on the fact that gaining a particular skill set will allow someone to move towards that. So, okay, at the moment, the reason why you're in this predicament is you're currently not training like an athlete. So you're turning up, you're doing all the right things, but you're not training like an athlete. If you want to look like an athlete, you need to train like an athlete. We're selling the emphasis of development and education. If you're then moving towards something that's simple, you need this to move towards your goal. So you're emphasizing the value of what you're going to provide for them, not just in your coaching, but what they're going to learn and how that's going to propel them towards. But it's not scary enough because it's not a full elevator speech. You're not like saying, right, together we can turn up and every single session you're going to smash PBs and you're going to walk out of this gym 10 times more confident, and they're thinking, that's too much. But you're saying you're in this predicament and you want to remove away from, you want to get away from the clown, right? Let's put it back to this crazy picture. You want to get away from the clown. The easiest way to get away from the clown is build a wall. Don't just move further away, build a wall. The easiest way to build a wall is you need to learn how to build a wall. That's it. So you need to, for you to escape your problem and conquer your fear, you need to learn this skill set because that will be the ultimate solution for you to continually get away. And that then motivates the away from. So that helps you target both because it allows you to push it towards a direction and away from something. And you can keep pushing on that direction, eventually that will change that person. But in the first instance, if you need to use in 15 seconds to 30 seconds away to say to this person, here's where you are, you need to go somewhere, and what you're trying to go somewhere is away from this predicament, this is the quickest, simplest way, and it's immediately going to provide a separation between you and what you're trying to overcome. Whether that means it might be someone who's trying to lose weight. They are so caught up on the scales. The only way you're going to conquer this is at the moment you are so afraid of what they say and you're afraid to not jump on them, but you're not necessarily putting in the actions to get away from that. Until you can remove yourself from that behaviour and focus all that energy on the fear and put that into effort, that's that wall, right? They're getting away from fear and they're not measuring it, and then instead of putting that energy into something else, they've built a wall. And that's a skill set, that's distraction. Right, what to say? So towards, they've got some tag words here. Towards people, you want to achieve, reach, aim, attain, include, win. They're all directional things, they're reward things. Away from, you want to avoid, get rid of, prevent, solve. I'm not big on this, and this is where these tag words for me don't really fit, and I'll explain why. In my experience as a psychologist, people who have very, very big fears, or big, especially if it's confidence issues, if you use avoid or get rid of or things like that, it's still negative terminology to where they're at. And so if someone is really, really self-conscious about their weight, or really, really timid about being in the gym floor, you talking about them getting rid of their fear is actually making it a worse thing, because most people have fear also have anxiety. And when you talk about you're now saying, yes, you do have fear, you're making it more real for them, and it's worse. Instead of, my one for this is conquer, develop, progress, learn, grow. They're all constructional terms. They're not rewards. They're not, it's not like those really high motivating terms. But together we can grow to a point where you have confidence. Versus with my help, you can get rid of that fear of, does that make sense? It's that simple? Yeah. Together we can help you grow to be that person who's confident walking the gym. That to me, I would want to buy that. That sounds like you're going to help me conquer something. Versus, with my help, you can get rid of that fear it's sounding slightly belittling. It's sounding like, well, you shouldn't really have that in the first place, and it doesn't really help. And this applies in multiple contexts. If someone's afraid, you know, I was stuck at, say, a 220 squat for such a long time, and it was fear of weight. And if someone tells me, you know, I can help you get rid of that fear, it just makes it more real that the fear is there. And I know it's irrational, it's not going to kill me, but it's there, it's prevalent. If instead it's, you know, I can coach you to learn how to move past that point, that sounds like someone's going to help me actually build that wall. It's not a fear anymore, it's just there's an obstacle. They'll change the visual image of what it is. And this is really important for people. When you speak to them, they actually create imagery of the words that you're saying. It creates a realistic context. So if you guys just take 10 seconds for me, a realistic 10 seconds, and think of, at the moment, what is a very, very genuine fear for you, something that you really don't want to happen, whether it's real or not, likely or not. Make that in your head, like put it in your head at the moment, and think about if someone told you, and they come up to you and said, okay, you know, Tim, you know, with my help, I can help you conquer that fear. It actually brings it to your forethought. Like if you had an image, it will actually come to your temporal lobe. It will become more realistic. It makes it also more overbearing. If someone said, look, that's okay, that's completely natural, and you know, together we can actually grow to get you to a point where that's just not an issue for you anymore. It actually takes it away from there, it puts it to the outer parts of your brain where they're more logical and rational, and you're more likely to actually think of problem solving to that. Your temporal lobe is not filled up with emotion, instead it's able to really process what are particular paths and processes. This is really intricate psychology, and just from a couple of words difference. So my words here would be gain, reward, win, progress, accomplish. Like they're all big impact words, right? Yep. And here I'd say develop, grow, learn, and in the right context, overcome. So simple terminology appropriate to the right person will make a big impact. And then you need to, like this is not going to be simple. If you know the person, you can construct the perfect elevator speech with that simple split. If you don't know the person, obviously it's going to be complicated because we don't know without. So you've got to go fishing and you've got to kind of try and figure out without. Right, what to say? We've also got internally motivated people and externally motivated people. I am an internally motivated person. You are an internally motivated person. My good friend is an externally motivated person. He's the kind of person that, you know, if everyone says we're doing this, he's like, yes, we're doing that. You know, he wants to do what they're doing. So think of, if you know someone seems to be internally motivated, so internally motivated versus externally motivated, we can put it in context of what we want someone to do as well. Has anyone ever written a nutrition plan for a client? Yep, absolutely, I have. So if we want someone to be compliant to a nutrition plan, if they're internally motivated, they are the kind of people that as long as you've screened the goal, like we've talked to them, and we've identified that you want to achieve this goal, you are excited about this goal, and I'm going to provide the process for you to achieve that. An internally motivated person will take that and they'll follow it, and they'll be excited about the process because they know I'm going to invest, I'm going to get results, it'll be awesome. An externally motivated person is waiting for someone else to motivate them to do it. So it's more effort on our part because we are the other person. But our elevator speech then needs to change resulting on that. Our words need to change on that. If we've got someone who is internally motivated versus external, this is very much about the you can versus I need you to. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if someone's Yock can, yep, it's very good spelling there. So if I've got someone who's internally motivated, right, you can do this and this is going to be able to come. If I've got someone who's externally motivated, I need you to do this. I'm your motivator, and whether it's compliance or motivation, I don't care, but I need you to. because they will not do it if you go, you can achieve this. They're like, yep, who else is doing it with me? They're just not that kind of person. I need you to, you need compliance from that kind of person. And that will then change, again, your elevator speech. So, it's hard. I don't necessarily believe this 100% as well. This says, what to say? For an internal motivation person, it's up to you. You're in control. You have the capacity to achieve this. Yep. Externally motivated people, you know, I think this is a really good idea. I believe that you can. I really want you to. You know, it's me coaching them. They need someone else to push them. And if you know that, it will make an impact, and we can start bringing that back to an elevator speech then. So, the 3 keys. Are they proactive versus reactive? Are they someone who's motivated towards a goal or away from a fear? And are they internally motivated versus externally motivated? If you can get those 3, you've just got the best capacity ever to really push this person. If not, the best thing we can get at least is probably somewhere in there, either part of that or part of that. And that will kind of declare itself more with time as they become a client rather than a prospect. So then, in an elevator speech is to, I'm going to move the photo here. An elevator speech is to motivate, to inspire, to educate, to overcome obstacles. If you've ever heard any motivational speaker, their speech is not like, say, 45 minutes of drawl. Their speech is pockets of content and information, and in amongst that, there's a whole lot of emotion, and they create a journey for you. So the way they use their words has an impact to you emotionally. And we can really see this. I have a big problem. My voice is naturally monotone, and that makes it very hard. I am not someone that is naturally a motivating person to listen to. So I have to make a huge impact with the way I stage words, with how I space them, with where I put emphasis and volume, because I can't motivate someone. If I speak like I do at home, it sounds like this, and I will talk like this for ages, and it will start to drawl. It gets very monotonous. What are we doing then with our clients? That's an issue for me, it's a weakness. So if I have a monotone voice, I cannot inspire someone with my natural voice. I have to force it. So an elevator speech is perfect for me. If I've got a client, I might be talking to them about their goals. Let's make it this simple. Tim, if your goal is to squat 140, awesome, cool. So we're going to work towards 140 kilos. It's really important to you, and that's important to me. And I want to make sure that together we can achieve that. So what we're going to do is really compartmentalize your training. We're going to look at week 1, let's benchmark exactly what you're doing. And then from there, we can look at slightly improving in week 2. The words are 100% relevant, but you're not going to be excited by it, because I'm not showing you any enthusiasm or excitement. It is not an elevator speech, it's a speech. It has to go up. That's the whole reason it has the term elevator speech. It has to go up. So if it's going to be motivational, if it's going to inspire, if it's going to educate, I'll just change marker colours. First of all, you need mood. Is that fair enough? Yep. This can go both ways. An elevator speech can also be to reprimand someone appropriately. It can be an angry mood. It can be a very assertive mood, but it has to have a mood. If it's just blasé, it's not going to have impact. The second thing it has to have is a why. Why am I telling you these words? Why is it relevant for you? Why do you even want to listen to me talk to you about this? This is really critical. If you're helping, let's put it in context to say you wanted to help someone on the gym floor, you want to help them with technique, and you want to potentially get this person to buy into you helping them further. You want a potential client out of this interaction. If I come up and I just straight away have the wrong mood, hey, how you going? Like, it's going to be full on. They're going to bolt out the door, or they're going to lodge a complaint against me. It's got to be an appropriate mood, and we might interact. But then if I say, look, I'm not sure if you even want my advice, but I would really love to help you. Just if you can give me 10 seconds. And the reason I will help you is because you could spend the next year on this machine doing that exact movement the way you are now, and I can guarantee you, you are not going to progress. It is not effective, and that would be really disheartening, because I'm guessing the reason you turn up is you've got a goal. So would you give me 10 seconds of your time? I can help you with that. Is that actually slightly motivating that you might want to listen to my words? I've just earned in 15 seconds enough permission from you to add some value to it. And then I can imply my expertise, I can help that person to then have them at least respect my expertise, they can develop somewhere. If I instead just go up and go, hey champ, would you mind if I actually just help you for 2 seconds? The way you're doing that is, I mean, it's all right, but it's not that great. If you instead just pull your shoulders back and do that, you'll find it far more effective. They're not going to buy in. I haven't asked for permission to talk to them, and that was based on last week's seminar. If you're watching on home ed video, you need to watch the Neurolinguistics for Sales, or Today Won't Make Sense. If you don't have permission to have dialogue, they won't listen. There's a wall there. So I've asked permission, I've created mood, and in the way I started speaking, I will just gradually increase my tone. Champ, the reason why I want to help you, I just want to, like, I can see what you're doing and it's awesome, but like, if you are left there and you keep doing this the way you are for the next 12 months, I can guarantee you it is not going to go anywhere. And that would be devastating. You know, I'm sure that you're here for a goal. I would like to help you. Would you give me 10 seconds? I can help straight away. Right? There's no perfect words, but you can slowly hear the voice tone's increasing. What it does is you attenuate my words. You've actually got part of your brain that sits just outside your ears that if something scales in volume, you pay more attention to it. You can't stop it. So even some of the world's best alarm clocks, like if you're someone who's a notorious sleeper, they will have an alarm clock app that you can get and the volume increments, and it's far more effective than it just starts blaring because you attenuate to it more. So if you want someone to listen to you, you start at an appropriate level of volume. Obviously you don't scream at them, don't come out like you're so happy to see them because it's a little bit freaky, it's a little bit weird. But start at an appropriate volume and then get excited. And the simplest way to increase your tone is get excited, and then you can put that mood in. And then the why is simple, because they're the words. Have a reason. I would really like to help you because. Then we need an action. So I thought I made a note, I didn't. So what are you specifically going to do? So in this instance, the action is, I'd really like to help you with your technique. Easy enough? And then finally enough, we need a reward. This doesn't mean that you carry a bundle of candy in your pocket and give it to people to listen to you. Champ, I'd really like to help you. I can see that you're kind of 90% on the money, but you know, if you can improve your technique, I mean, if you can use that machine, that exercise 100% effectively, you will see such a dramatic increase. And unfortunately, the way you're doing it now, it is just not going to have any benefit for you. And I'm sure that you're here for a goal. I'm sure you're here because you're motivated to work towards something. Give me 15 seconds of your time, I can fix that for you. The reward is, I've just pointed out an issue, I'm going to fix that. Yep. If it doesn't have a reward, if it stops there, I'd really like to help you, there's still no incentive. Even if it's subtle, that 5 seconds of emphasising that I'm going to do something for you will make a dramatic difference. It can be something as simple as, let's say Nicole, you were running a boxing class one day and you see someone and they're throwing a hook punch and they're doing chicken wings, right? You can say, guys, arms up. I want your arm up like this. That's great. And you might do that and you might correct it. If you go up to them in the quick break and you go, I need you to try and do it this way. And the reason I want you to do it this way is you are here to work your hardest and also you are here to learn how to box properly. If you want every punch to have an impact, you know, a punch was designed to hurt a person. If you want your punch to have the right impact, the right strength, it needs to come from here. I need it to be there. And let me teach you for 2 seconds. If you do this, you know, you are going to throw stronger, harder, faster, and your boxing is just going to go to the next level. Yes, they're going to 100% listen to exactly what you want to tell them. Like you are creating purpose. And we can put this in other contexts as well. If I needed to reprimand someone, all right, look, you know, I can see that you're trying. You're turning up to every session and you have the best of intentions of doing what you're paying to do. You know, you're paying me to help you achieve a result. But, you know, the reason why it's not working for you nearly as much as you want is because it's just not 100%. You are giving me 85, and I fully commend you for that 85%, but it is not 100. And I want to make sure that every session, I mean, you're only giving me 2 half-hour times a week. I want to make sure that every session has the biggest impact to exactly what your results are. And you are so close, but it is up to you. I need you to bring the game. I cannot create that for you. Is that an unreasonable expectation? I am here 100%, but you're only bringing 85. I need you to match me. Is that unreasonable? Right? That is a reprimand. But that doesn't sound rude, right? That sounds motivating as hell. But they've just been told they're being slack, pretty bluntly. So you can use the exact same elevator speech to achieve any outcome, depending on what you need that person to do. But it's still going to motivate, inspire, educate, or overcome an obstacle by following those 4 simple rules. What are they? And this is where I've seen them done really bad. So I was trying to, after we went to the vote and picked what seminar we were going to do, I went and tried to find some good examples and some bad examples. Unfortunately, most of YouTube is all of these. It's over the top and it's fluffing. Fluffing is, hey, you're a big guy, you look like you kind of know what you're doing, but would you mind, like, you know, you're okay, but I reckon I can help you do a little bit better. Yep, that's good, yep, awesome, but I just want you to do this. That's fluffing. It's helping, but it's not actually motivating. You know, you can't, or you might go up to someone and go, you know what, like, you're so close, I can see so much potential, you know, you're giving 80%, but if you put 100%, you just don't even realize how incredible you could be. You have so much potential. There is just like this, you know, amazing, incredible beast of a physique just hiding in there, and you got to let it out. You just got to let that thing free. Right? That's fluffing, right? People do this. It is crazy. YouTube surprises me every week, but it's not. That's not motivating. It's fluffing. It's not helping anyone. They're not going to push harder. They don't know how to let that shit free. They just they're feeling like you're blowing smoke up their butt, and it's not going to get them to listen to you because all you're doing is actually fluffing them. So it might seem slightly motivational, but it's not going to achieve any outcomes because you cannot implement an action to that. I can't say, you know, you just let that thing free and all you got to do is just train that extra 10%. They just won't connect. They won't connect, it won't work. And it's over the top, you know, if it's too much. If you said to someone, like if you're correcting someone on a seated row, or let's say you're sitting down in a preliminary consult with someone and doing an initial session, they're not signed up as a client, but you're just trying to actually get them to see the value of your services. And if you're saying, yep, cool, you do your body fat percentage and they're 35%, you're like, yep, fantastic. You know, you have so much potential, you're 35 now, but if you work with me, you know, if you commit that 20% extra on what you're doing and find it in your budget and we do this right, I mean, you put in absolutely everything, but give me 6 weeks of your life and we do it 100% right, it will be so crazy, the results that you see will be so crazy, you'll just be astounded. I reckon we can easily drop 10 to 15% in that time and you will not have a single regret because the impact that will have to you across every level will be amazing. I follow the rules. There's a mood, there's a why, there's an action, but it's way over the top. It's too big a picture, it's not relevant for the right now. It is, you know, but if we change that and they want to get away from that 35%, we can simply change it to, okay, cool. Now we've got the full picture, you're 35%, how do you feel about that? Right, well it's not positive and that's okay, but you know, you are where you are. And there's certain behaviours and things that got you into this predicament, but there is a legitimate ability and there is a legitimate course that we can follow that will change that for you. And it is so simple, but it is not just a matter of turning up to the gym. Your membership did not make this magical thing happen for you. It is a simple matter of you need to get educated and you need to apply the right training and you need to learn how to eat the right way. It doesn't mean restrictive, it doesn't mean that it has to be the hardest thing in the world, but if you just change a few small things about your lifestyle, you can make a big impact to that 35%. It doesn't have to be 35%, but you've got to be willing to change. Is that something you're prepared to do? That's an elevator speech. That is, what am I asking for? The action is for them to change. And the reward is getting away from that 35%, and the mood is elevating, and I've got the why, and they have a choice then to come with me, or they have a choice to move away from the fear and say, I use these words. Like, we can make that person's likely to become a client. The over the top one is it. So, let's try some example role plays to wrap this up. Correcting form, we've already done that one. The approach, make sure the approach is purposeful. If you're going to approach someone and you want to actually do this really well, your posture is really important, and I guess you have to create mood with who you are first. And that would be as simple as, Tim, I'll just start picking on you. Bring your chair over here for me. We're going to pretend that you are on a seated row. So that's the row, and you're sitting there, and you pretend to do it. Right. If I come up and lean on the machine, you go, buddy, like, I mean, what are you doing? Like, body language makes a big impact. I'm not saying we do that, but there are people in gyms that do that, and it just doesn't work. I'm not creating a space where I want you to listen to me. I'm creating a space where I'm trying to be the person who just tells you what to do because you need to listen to me, and I don't have permission for that yet. If I go, but can I just actually offer like one piece of advice? Like, I'm going to let you feel that you're the bigger person, right? You feel like you're in a position where the words I'm saying to you, you are able to listen to me because you're the boss. Now, if you can give me 10 seconds, I'll dramatically change that, and like I can totally understand exactly what you're doing, but the reason why it's not going to be effective for you is you're just not even using the right muscle. Like, you're on the machine and you're pulling hard, and the weight you're using is awesome, but you're not using the right muscles to make that mechanical movement appropriate. Would you give me 10 seconds of your time? I can fix that for you straight away. Yeah. Sure. I'll let you be the boss and I'll change it. Like, just stand up. It's really simple. People will actually let you talk to them if you actually get lower than them. It's really simple because you're a very non-threatening thing here. You're like an insect. But they will then actually more likely to give you the time of day and not actually send you running if you get down. And then as you're elevating, just stand up, create some posture, and create some impact with your person. It can make a big difference. You can have the softest voice on the planet, and by standing up, your feel it changes the feeling, right? It does, yeah. Big time. You can grab a seat. I'll stop picking you. Right, second context, overcoming objections. So we're sitting down with someone. This happens all the time. Whether it's finishing a kickstart, whether it's we've had a complimentary session, whether it's we've maybe had a person inquire about our PT services and we're sitting down having a chat. We overcome an objection. Let's say there's an objection on price. Right, it's easy enough to have the words to overcome an objection. Someone says, oh, I just can't afford it. Yep, you know what, we hear that all the time, and like that may certainly be the case for you, but let me, look, if there's something I can do to maybe work around your current budget that could be affordable, would you be interested? Right, they're reasonable words, they're very, very reasonable words, and I'm overcoming the objection. But it's not motivating. I'm not hearing the objection and actually turning it into something where it's a possible positive. Look, absolutely, I 100% feel for you, and it's unfortunate because by the sounds of it, you want what I'm saying I can do for you, and it just sucks that budget's an issue. But I would love to help you. From everything you've said today, I would love to help you. And if there's a way that I can make an impact for you, if I can find a way that in your current budget we can make PT affordable, would that be a win for you? Would that be something that you see value in? I'm scaling up my words. They're more likely to go, yeah, I guess that'd be awesome. Like, I'm being really confronting here by saying that you're telling me that you can't afford it and I believe that's unjustified, but I'm making it motivational, I'm making it exciting, I'm making it about them, I'm making it about their goal. So following the same rules. What about inspiring towards goals? This is so hard. You know, as a trainer, my ambition is to have 100% motivated clients, and it's just not the case. Some people are just so hard. Like, they make you, I'll be honest, who's got, like, you might have 2 or 3 good clients in a row, and you've got that one where every week you're like, oh, this is soul destroying. Like, they're just so hard. You know, and you just want to motivate them towards their goals. The elevator speech done the right way, and now I'm going to put in context to this person and this, can be really, really different. Alright, first thing, if we're going to use an elevator speech, people have to be happy about something. You know, every now and then I'm sure there's going to be a client who's just depressed about life in general. But people have to be happy about something. If you think about the thing that makes you happiest right now and think about it, you'll be happy. If you then think about something that you don't want to do, you're still happy from thinking about the thing that makes you happy, right? Because emotions last a little bit longer than a thought. So, if you're having a conversation with a client about something that's actually they really love, and it's really exciting for them, and they've got some motivation about it, and then you let that motivation ride up, and then they're this kind of person that they're kind of trying to get away from something, you're like, look, you know, they're excited, And then, all right, let's get back focused. So, you know, James, I was thinking the other day, you know, like, I understand the predicament you're in. You really want to lose weight and you just hate being in the circumstance you're in now. And I'm so confident that, you know, we can actually grow to a point, especially in the next 4 weeks, we can grow to a point where I actually think it's going to be life-changing for you. I think that we can grow and develop to this position where you just come in and you train because you're excited about training. And whether or not you believe me, just hear me out for a second, whether or not you believe me, I actually am firmly, I'm being really, really clear here, I believe it's possible, not because you're you're holding something back, but because you're on the teetering edge of starting to see every bit of investment towards your results. You know, you're so close to actually seeing all this hard work that you don't really look like you're enjoying putting in, but you're so close to seeing the outcome of that investment. And it's just like saving. You know, if you put $2 away every week, the first 6 weeks, no one's excited, you've saved 12 bucks, who cares? But at the end of the year, when you've got over $100, that's slightly exciting. You can go buy something, and that's where you're at. You've actually put the money in the bank, and you're that close. And what I would really like to do is change that. I would like to just step it up that little bit of a notch, because I want to see you reach that point sooner. You know, I can change it. We're growing and developing, and I'm trying to push them over here. Right, regardless of the context, I just made that up on the spot, it's not a plain thing, but if we've got someone who's they're not really enthusiastic or excited, but they hate the work, you know, they hate turning up, but they still want to see the reward of their investment, right? That person doesn't just turn up out of complacency, they turn up because they're investing in something, and you can start to apply some motivation and some acceleration just by emphasising that journey a little bit more. So if you're conscious of who they are, just change the way, like does a really slow elevator speech. And then it just gets a little bit faster and a little bit faster until, boom, this is what I want you to do. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. But if you've got those kinds of clients, just try it. Just try actually get in their minds for a minute and think, if you're reactive and you're trying to move away from it, or you've got a goal but you just really are a reactive, unmotivated, unambitious person, start slow. Get them in a really happy place. Talk about something they really, really enjoy. And then, I just want to talk to you something seriously for a moment. This is, like, I've been thinking about this and I really believe that I have an idea for you that's going to just change your training totally. It's going to make you change from someone who turns up training and does it because you have to someone who turns up and gets so excited, not necessarily about the work, but about what's happening for them. Now, I think the key to this is that if we develop in these key areas, and if you give me just this extra 10% effort on these 3 key areas, all this work, all this hard effort, at the moment you are seeing results, there's no question of that, but all that hard work is going to just escalate and you will see so much better results without having to actually do that much more. You know, is that, like, I'm really excited about that and I'd like you to be excited about that. Is that something you're prepared to do for me? You know, you can do that. And that was assuming that they're an externally motivated person, right? And finally, has anyone actually had, like, should I get that? You know, if you get a concern or a complaint from a client, like you might be doing everything really well and they're just like negative about something, or let's say like that context before, you've done their measurements and they're actually doing really well in context, but in their head they thought they'd done something. Or a really good one that, you know, we came across the other day, you know, they're doing a 12-week challenge and their body fat's coming off and they're looking leaner, but the change in the scales is not what they thought it was because they've actually grown muscles, they've gained muscle, lost fat. So the body composition has changed to perhaps where they wanted it, but they're focused on the scales and they get frustrated and they complain about it. You know, they're negative about something that should be positive. An elevator speech done the right way, taking into context who they are and what they're working towards, and if they're internally or externally motivated, can really change that. Because if you said the same words, if you said, yeah, look, you know, it's really, really simple, you know, you've gained muscle and you've lost fat, and because you've gained muscle, you've had an increase in weight there, but a decrease in weight and fat, so it balances out. So you're leaner, but it just doesn't reflect on the scale. So it's still really, really positive. That's cool. But you're just explaining, it's not an elevator speech, it's a speech. If we change that to, yeah, look, I can see you're disheartened, that's really sad because this is something that you should be really excited about. And let me explain why. The scales are, you know, historically something that everyone takes we gauge progress on what I weigh. And, you know, at a certain point in time before you're training with weights, that may be relevant. But now we're bringing into context other factors. The factor is you're growing lean muscle tissue, and lean muscle tissue not only takes up extra weight in your body, it also burns extra calories. So this is why I'm excited for you. You might be frustrated, but I'm really excited, and I'm going to tell you why. The fact that you've grown muscle, you've grown 2 extra kilos of muscle, that's going to burn a bucket load of extra calories each day. So not only are you getting leaner, but your ability to get leaner again and stay leaner is getting better at the same time. And it's also been really good because at the moment, you know, if you were just to lose weight, have you ever heard those people where they lose weight and it just comes back on? You know, their metabolism can be compromised, there's a whole lot of other issues. You're actually in a position where your metabolism is really, really good and you're losing body fat and you're gaining lean mass, but not nearly at the same proportion. Like your weight's still changing, just not in the same proportion. But this is a really good thing. So whether or not you believe it or not, it's an awesome outcome. And we can make some changes to try and manipulate that weight. But if you're depressed about this, I need you to change that context because you are doing awesome. And we can help address those concerns, and that's something that we can look at. But don't for a second doubt that you've done really, really well. Is that fair? I want you to be proud of your results. I really, really want you to be proud of your results. Can you do that for me? Like, that's motivating. It's also reprimanding. But it also keeps you in the position of the expert. And it, like, some people just need a slap on the face, not a literal slap on the face, but they just need to kind of get out of where they're stuck in their head because they've got a fixation. And an elevator speech helps that because if your tone of voice and your enthusiasm is enough to drive them off that point, and sometimes our expertise is not enough. Your words as a trainer, as an expert, are not necessarily enough to deviate them away from that fixation. But your excitement and enthusiasm 100% can. So if you change, like, just put it in context, if you had a complaint or a concern and it's not relevant, it's not justified, you can overcome it very, very easily and you can elevate. You've said the same words pretty much, but you've just put some excitement and enthusiasm around it. And sometimes, especially if there's someone who's externally motivated, they need you to be more excited about it than them so that they can be excited about it, because otherwise they won't. Because the only thing that they were vying for was potentially not going to happen, or it's not realistic, or it's just not close enough yet. The clown's still too close, whatever it might be. Easy enough, guys? Do you have any questions? I know it's a complicated topic. It'll take practice. Being really honest, it will take practice. Like, it's one of these things that if you just start thinking about how you apply it, will make an impact. And probably the 2 easiest ones are in talking to people just about what they're doing. If you ask someone, hey, what are you training today? Oh, just a bit of chest. Yeah, awesome. You know, do you find it really actually so much easier? You're training chest on a Friday, not a Monday. So rather than International Chest Day, you've got all the benches to yourself. This must be so much better. Right? It's exciting. Yeah. Right? I might be that weird guy that's going over the top and like talking about it, but that's actually a relevant thing. They've never even thought of that. But I've now got dialogue. So, you know, I create some mood, and then I'm more likely to get dialogue about their goals and things like that. So, you know, hey, what are you training today? And then a brief elevator speech on, hey, how awesome is it that I just, and actually, it's not like I'm trying to pick up a client because he's not a prospective client, but there's a guy on the squat rack the other day, and he was front squatting, and he was nailing 120 front squats for clusters of 5, and they were actually really good. I just went up to him and I'm like, man, that is freaking awesome. Like, they are some of the best front squats I've seen in this gym all year. Like, whatever you've been improving, I've seen you on the foam roller and stuff, whatever you've done has been a remarkable improvement. Man, hats off to you, you must be stoked. So, yeah, it's okay. What do you mean it's okay? You're not excited about your training? Yeah, no, I am. I don't know, I'm just kind of working towards something, dude. All right, well, for what it's worth, like, props. That's really, really good. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for you. I'll be excited for you, that's fine. But he's now more excited about his training, and there's a really easy opportunity for me to continue dialogue. If you're elevated mood about someone else in an appropriate context, it can get you into doors that you would not previously have. Right? The same goes for if you need to sometimes reprimand. It will make it in ways that you don't lose a client because you can do it in a way where you instead motivate them towards what you want to do. If you've ever had the client who won't follow a food diary, they won't follow a food plan and they're gaining weight at their fault even though you're doing everything you need to do, you can reprimand them this way, and it's going to be far more beneficial than just slapping them and saying, you are not doing what you need to do. Do an elevator speech. I need you to meet me in the middle. I'm going to put in 100%, you're putting in 85, give me that 15. Give me that 15 and let's make this happen for you because I know you want it. What is it going to take for me to help you to give me that 15%? Let's make a commitment today about what you can do to make that happen. It's an elevator speech. It's different. I can still reprimand, but I can get commitment just by making it exciting and enthusiastic. Easy enough? Right. Cool, guys. I'll wrap it up at that point. Practicing clients, especially if you're getting them ready for a performance. Just the mood, the why, the action, the reward. If you can keep it to 15 to 30 seconds, it will work. The only reason I say 30 to 60 seconds is these people are just exhaustingly hard sometimes. Like it's just got to be so slow and methodical because you can see they disengage. If you get too excited, they kind of like stop looking at you, and that's okay. Some people are shy, some people just can't handle intense emotion, and that's normal. But if you elevate slowly, their experience of emotion from there to there is okay, they can handle that gradual change. You go too full on too fast, they won't. Same as a relationship, you know, if someone tries to pass you on a first date, it's too much. You know, it's got to be in context. Right,